What's up, y'all? I'm Tim Leak, and today we're going to be talking about single-family investing versus multifamily investing. Which one should new investors start with? Is one better than the other? Which one has better returns? Or does it really matter at all? We're about to compare the pros and cons of the two and try to find out overall which one is the better investment, all right? Now let's get to it. So the main difference between single-family homes and multifamily homes is obviously in the name. Single-family homes are homes designed for a single family to live in. Now, of course, multiple families can live in a single-family home. For instance, an owner might rent out by the room or rent their basement out. But technically, if it's a single-family home, that means that it's zoned and permitted as a single unit. And for the purpose of this video, when I say single-family home, I'm also including townhomes, row homes, pretty much any property that's specifically designed for the occupancy of a single family. Now, multifamily homes are homes that are zoned and permitted to have multiple units. So it's in one building with multiple units within that building. Therefore, multiple families can live in it. So in other words, a property with 2 or more units is considered multifamily. Now, both single and multifamily homes have their advantages and disadvantages when it comes to investing. So let's go over them. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the barrier of entry. So if you're a new investor and you want to get started and you're ready to purchase your first property, it's a lot easier to purchase a single family home as opposed to a multifamily home. For one, there are a lot more single family homes than there are multifamily homes. So you're going to have a lot more options, a lot more properties to choose from, and ultimately this makes it a lot easier to purchase a single family home. For two, it's a lot easier to find better deals with single family homes. The fact that there are a lot more single family homes out there, you'll come across better deals more frequently than multifamily homes. Since multifamily properties are a lot more rare, a lot of the times when they do hit the market, they're overpriced. I mean, that's just the truth of the matter. Just think about it. Whenever something's rare, say for instance, an exclusive pair of shoes, a Michael Jordan rookie card, or a rare painting, the price is going to be driven up. Owners of multifamily properties know this, and a lot of times when they're ready to sell, they overprice them. So it's a lot easier to purchase a single family home as opposed to a multifamily home, especially for newer investors. So next, we're going to talk about income reliability. With single family homes in general, one family pays the bills, and if they don't, then you don't get paid anything. So the importance of finding a high quality tenant for your single family property is extremely vital, because once the lease is signed, this one family has all of the control. They're in charge of taking care of the property, they're in charge of paying all the bills, so it's kind of like you're putting all of your eggs in one basket. Now with multifamily, if one family stops paying, then at least you still have income coming in from other units. And it's also a lot less likely you'll ever be 100% vacant with multifamily. If one of your tenants moves out, you'll still be receiving income from the other tenants. But with single family, once the tenant moves out, the turnover and vacancy expenses are completely all on you. And let me tell you, as a landlord, those are your biggest expenses. Find a way to decrease turnover and vacancy, and you'll make a lot more money. So next, when comparing the two, let's talk about the ability to house hack. Now, house hacking is a brilliant strategy for people who either want to purchase an investment property and don't want to pay a large down payment, or for those who want to receive rental income to help contribute to the monthly mortgage payment, or both. You see, usually when buying an investment property, a lender will require at least a 20% down payment. So for a $200,000 property, that's $40,000 down, not to mention closing costs and reserves. But with house hacking, you're moving into the property as your primary residence, so your down payment requirement can be as little as 3%, and sometimes less than that, thanks to a lot of these new programs. 3% down on a $200,000 property is only $6,000, which is a huge difference from $40,000. Now with multifamily, you can only house hack with the low down payment option if you purchase a 2 to 4 unit property, which still is considered residential real estate. Anything over 4 units is considered commercial real estate, and you'll have to most likely put down 20%. But anything between 2 and 4 units, you're good. And to help qualify for the mortgage, you're also able to use the expected rental income from the other units. So even though multifamily properties are usually more expensive, the rental income you're expected to receive will help with being able to afford it, and banks take that into consideration. Now with single family, you're also able to house hack, but it's a little different. For one, since it's a single family, then you won't have expected rental income from anywhere else. Therefore, you'll have to qualify for the mortgage all on your own. You can't tell the bank, hey, I plan on renting out the bedrooms, or I'm going to rent the basement out. If the basement is not already a legal unit, then it doesn't count. And if it is a legal unit, then the property would be considered a multifamily. So there you have it. So even though single family homes are in general cheaper than multifamily, when it comes to qualifying for a mortgage, you'll have to be able to afford it strictly off of your income. Now, if you can qualify, you're still able to house hack. However, instead of renting out separate units, like with multifamily properties, you can rent out bedrooms. Now, you're going to have roommates, which means that this can be a little difficult if you're in a relationship or have children, and you might have to share some things like a kitchen or maybe a bathroom. But nonetheless, house hacking, whether a single family or multifamily, is a great way to take advantage of a low down payment and receive income to help cover your bills. Now, let's compare how the value of single-family homes and multifamily homes is determined, and which method is ultimately better for you as an investor. So, for single-family homes, the value of the property is determined by comparing what other similar properties have recently sold for in the area, which is known as the comps, or comparable sales. So, even if it's a rental property, if you strictly bought this property for investment purposes, that doesn't matter. If it's a single-family home, then the value of it, meaning the amount that you can sell it for right now, is determined by what similar homes are selling for. And those similar homes don't have to be other investment properties. Now, this can sometimes be a good thing or a bad thing. It can be a bad thing because home buyers are usually willing to overpay for their primary residence. So if you, as an investor, want to purchase in a particular neighborhood, home buyers may be driving up the prices of homes in that neighborhood, which can ultimately make it harder to find deals that make sense. Home buyers will overpay, and investors usually want to underpay. So this can make it harder to find good deals. But on the flip side, if you already own an investment property in that neighborhood and home buyers are overpaying for houses around you, then the value of your property is going up as well, and you'll be able to take advantage of that. Besides, if they strictly compared your rental property to other rental properties, then you'd be screwed because, like I said, most investors try to get properties as cheap as they can. Now, another way this can be a good thing is, especially for Section 8 investors, there are some properties throughout the country that, according to the market, these properties may be worth $100,000 or less. That's how much a family would pay to move in and live in it. Now, this is extremely low. However, as an investor, that same property may generate $1,000 a month in rental income or even more. The return on some of these properties is ridiculous. So even though the market value is only $100,000, the value to an investor may be quadruple that amount. Just think about it. If you could buy a $400,000 property that you knew for sure would make you $1,000 a month, most investors would do it. So finding a $100,000 house with those kind of returns make that property a gold mine. And that's the beauty of Section 8. So even though using the comparable sales approach to determine a property's value can hurt investors in some ways, it most definitely can also help in other ways. Now, determining the value of a multifamily property is a little different. Now, with 2 to 4 unit multifamily properties, you could either use comps of recently sold similar properties, or you can use the income approach, which appraises based off how much income the properties generate. But with properties with 5 units or more, appraisers usually always use the income approach. They're not comparing what this multifamily home sold for or what this multifamily property makes in revenue. They're strictly looking at how much money this particular property is making. Buying a multifamily property is always looked at as a business deal. You're running a business because your ultimate goal is to make money. And in order to determine the value of a business, you got to look at the books. How profitable is this business? How much money does it make? And that's how it works with multifamily properties. Now, because of this, it's a lot easier to force appreciation with multifamily properties than it is with single family properties. So for instance, with a single family home, you can only force it to appreciate if it's enough room for it to appreciate. Meaning, if I buy a fixer-upper house for $100,000 and homes in the area are only selling for, let's say, $110,000, then even if I do a complete renovation, put about $50,000 of work into it, the value of the home is still not going to be worth much more than $110,000 because that's the value of similar homes in the area. But with multifamily, you can do a complete renovation, hike up those rent payments, and now the value of the property has went up since it's now making you more money. So that's a huge benefit of owning a multifamily property, being able to raise the value of the property simply by raising rents. And since in theory you can possibly raise rents every single year, you would be constantly increasing the market value of the property every year. So with that being said, what about the cash flow? Which one cash flows more between a single family and a multifamily property? Well, as much as I wish I had a definite answer, the bottom line is there isn't one. The amount of cash flow a property generates is determined by so many things, and each deal is so different, there really is no answer. There are single family homes that cash flow more than multifamily, just like there are multifamily homes that cash flow more than some single family homes. It all depends on the deal itself. For instance, a close friend of mine bought a multifamily property in Baltimore around the same time I bought a single family home in PG County. I believe her property cost about $100,000 more than mine, and she has 3 separate units. However, both properties are cash flowing about the same amount. I think now I actually cash flow more than hers because I added a bedroom to my property. That's another advantage of single family. Usually you'll have more space to play around with and possibly add additional bedrooms to increase your rental income. But anyway, instead of cash flow, what's more important is the cash on cash return. That's ultimately a major determination if a deal is good or not. Because if I buy a $100,000 single family home and you buy a $1 million multifamily home, but we're both making a 10% return on our money, yeah, you're making more money, but you had to spend more. You're also going to have more expenses. Your insurance is going to be higher. Your taxes will be higher. Your mortgage payment will be higher. So if we're both making a 10% return, both deals are pretty much even, despite the fact that your deal was 10x my deal. deal. But if you're a newer investor, you may not have the finances to get a $1 million multifamily deal. And that's okay, because it's a lot smaller deals where the returns are very similar. So when it comes to comparing the two, don't look at the amount of cash flow that each one will generate, but look at the return on your investment. Now, when it comes to scaling, even though I said it's easier to buy single family homes and find better deals with single family homes, for the simple fact that there are a lot more single family homes out there, the ability to close just one deal and instantly have multiple units added to your portfolio makes scaling a lot easier with multifamily properties. You're able to close one deal and automatically have, say, 5 units, as opposed to single family homes where you'll have to go out and buy house after house after house. And with multifamily, those 5 units are all under just one roof. So that's only one roof you have to deal with, one foundation, but you still have 5 units. Now on the flip side of that, you're still going to have to deal with 5 sets of tenants. So you're more prone to more things breaking, someone causing problems, a tenant refusing to pay, or having to evict someone. The more tenants you have, then the more issues you're most likely going to have to deal with. But that's a give and a take that you'll have to accept when dealing with multifamily properties. Now, as you can see, both single family and multifamily homes have their pros and cons. At the end of the day, real estate is real estate. As a long-term investment, you really can't go wrong with either one. There is no right or wrong choice. As a newer investor, it may be easier to start off with a single family home, but who knows? Everyone's financial situation is different. If you have the money, you may just want to jump right into the world of multifamily investing. A good deal is a good deal. I currently only invest in single family homes, but as of late, I have been looking at some multifamily properties. I'm not opposed to the idea, and if I do get one, maybe I'll be able to give a more accurate comparison of the two. Now with that being said, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video.